When you Google productivity, how to organize your day, journaling, scheduling, there are a lot of results. I know because I searched through a lot of them. In the end, I came to a conclusion that there are only a couple of strategies that really work. One strategy, which is often talked about by Tim Ferriss, is to block parts of your day or even your whole days for particular tasks. So, for example, Monday, you only do research. Tuesday, writing. Wednesday, recording. Thursday, production. Of course, I'm talking about production schedule. It will depend on your role and what you're doing. Now, in principle, this strategy makes sense because if you have just one task to do, you can give it 100%, all your energy. You can focus on it. But I found that for me, that kind of approach doesn't necessarily work. And especially when you're a freelancer, when you're running a business, you've got a lot of different things to take care of. And even if you want to be focused on one task, then something comes out of the blue and it just kind of pulls you away. So it's a great advice, but I don't think it's necessarily helpful for people who are freelancers or running a small business. The other issue I have with this kind of approach is that I get bored fairly easily. So let's say I've got some editing to do, and the first couple of hours, I'm ready to rock, full of energy, and then I just want to do something else. So if I block the whole day just for editing, I know that after a few hours, I'll get easily distracted and I just don't pay that much attention to a second half of my workday. I first noticed it at my last job. So I was working at a movie studio in charge of quality control. We had to watch a lot of reels of the same movie. And at some point during the day, I would just switch off and just mindlessly do the work. A lot of books, a lot of resources say to focus on one thing, give it 100%, but after a while I found it doesn't work for me. So I knew that I need mental stimulation, and that's why I decided to have multiple small tasks throughout the day and change between them constantly. I like games, I like quick wins, and I find that a lot of people are like that. So the idea is that in editing, in podcast production, you have things like edits, dialogue cleanup. They're kind of mundane, they're kind of boring, but you also have more creative stuff like pacing or writing music or mixing. And then you kind of mix and match these little tasks throughout the day, and when you find yourself being bored with one, you switch to something else. The way I do it is I go for one that's more boring, like a simple edit or work in Isotope RX, and then I switch to mixing. And then I do something else, like maybe archiving or sending some emails, and then scoring, and so on and forth. So let's say I've got an editing job to do. Rather than committing myself to finishing it in one full day, I'll work on it, I'll edit for an hour and a half, and then I'll switch to another task. Of course, if there is something urgent, a deadline coming up, then I'll finish that. And at the end of the day, I look at my diary and I see all these tasks crossed off. I feel good about myself, like I work hard, accomplish something, and then guilty-free when I sit down, watch some TV or play games, so I can enjoy my evenings. So it's a trick I developed. I'm tricking myself, so I feel that I've done a day of honest work. I'm joking, of course, but splitting big project into small tasks makes it more manageable and easier to control. And then you don't even when, and you're working on the final master. So I find that this approach works for me. I just think that we are not supposed to be sitting in one place mindlessly doing one task for hours on end. Unfortunately, this is still a rule in a lot of places. Mix things up. Have work that challenges you, it's a little bit creative, there's a problem to solve, and make your days interesting. There's a quote that I read, and it's always at the back of my mind, is how you spend your days is how you spend your life. Thanks for watching and see ya.